Hi guys, I'm Anissa and I'm back with another video. Today it's Friday, so time for another Friday reads. I promise I'll be filming some videos over the weekend so that I'll have something up over the next week. One of the videos that will be up during a week is my TBR for the Because Dragons readathon, which will be starting on the 13th, so on Tuesday. And then we're running until Monday after. So in this video I'm going to be talking about the books that I read during the week and what I'm planning on starting over the weekend. And then we'll have the TBR for the Because Dragons readathon up. I hope I'll have it up either tomorrow or Sunday, so you don't have to wait a long time to see it. But I won't be talking about those books there. But I'm pretty proud of myself because since my last Friday Reads video last week, I've managed to finish 2 physical books, 2 audios, and 1 graphic novel. And that is a lot better than it's been for a while. So I just wanted to mention the books that I did finish. And the first one of the books that I finished was Ghost Story by Jim Butcher. This is book 13 of the Dresden Files series. I only had, I think, an hour or something left of the audio when I was talking to you in last week, so I didn't have a lot left, so I knew I'd be able to probably finish it over the weekend, which I did. I always enjoy this series, especially because James Masters, the narrator, is really great, and he always makes the books better. But plot-wise, this one wasn't as good as the previous ones, even though I felt like we learned a lot about one of the characters. I'll be talking a lot more about this book in a coming wrap-up video, but I ended up giving it 4 stars, so I still really enjoyed it. And yeah, the other audio that I finished is actually an audio I finished today at work. I found out a way that I can listen to my audios at work as well. Sometimes it depends on what I'm doing and how quiet it is, because I am the first person on the phone, so if anyone calls I'll have to answer it, so I obviously can't listen to audiobooks while I'm answering the phone, obviously. But I do have some things some filing and some things where I don't have to think a lot, so I can listen to audios while I'm doing that. Also, especially considering, because sometimes I really hate the music that they play on the radio at the moment. And also it's pretty quiet in my office because my colleague she quit in the beginning, by the end of April, so I'm sitting by myself in there, so it's pretty quiet in there. So I felt like I needed something to, when I couldn't talk to her, I just decided I would listen to my audios instead, sometimes. Not all the time, because that's not possible. But I did finish Soulless by GAIL CARRIGER, the first book in the Parasol Protectorate series. And this is a very popular series, both on Goodreads. Numerous of my friends have read it and on Goodreads and loved it. And also here in BookTube, everyone seems to have read it but me, and they all love it. So, or at least the majority of the people I've heard are loving it. And I definitely enjoyed it as well. It was a lot of fun to follow, and I really enjoyed the setting, and the main character of Alexia was really interesting. It follows this girl called Alexia. You probably already know that because I feel like I'm the only one who hasn't read this yet. But she's a soulless, and because she's soulless, when she touches a supernatural being like vampires or werewolves or whatever, they will lose their powers almost immediately, and lose their immortality, basically. So but she's very rare. There's not a lot of people like her. So yeah, things happen, and yeah, I definitely enjoyed it, and I'll obviously also be having a separate review of this on my channel sometime soon. Hopefully I'll also be able to film that over the weekend. Definitely enjoyed it. I ended up giving it a 4 out of 5 stars. Now to the physical books that I read. I had to hand one of them into the library, so I don't have it any longer. First one of those was Sorcery by Terry Pratchett, book 5 in the Discworld series, and this is book 3 in the Rincewind series. And Rincewind is not my favorite of the characters from the Discworld series, and it's not my favorite sub-series, but it was still a lot of fun, and I ended up giving it a 4 out of 5 stars, so still highly enjoyable because I had some laugh out loud moments, but I can't wait to get into Weird Sisters and back into the Witches series, because I really enjoyed Equal Rights when I read it. The other physical book that I finished was actually a book that I only had 130 pages left to read, and that was The Upside or Unrequited by Becky Albertalli. This is a very popular contemporary book right now, and I got this I pre-ordered this because I was really excited to get it, and I have really been enjoying it. I will say though that I didn't enjoy this one as much as I enjoyed Simon versus the Homo sapiens agenda. I felt like that was I liked the side characters a lot more in that one, but I did really relate a lot to the main character. There were so many situations which she was in where I was like, yeah, that's basically how I felt during the majority of my upbringing, actually, and so that was something I could really relate to. But I ended up giving this 4 out of 5 stars. And then the graphic novel that I ended up reading over the week as well was Saga Volume 6 by Brian K. Vaughan and Fiona Staples. As usual, I pretty much enjoyed it. I don't think it was as good as Volume 4 and 5, but some things happen in this one that I'm not sure how long I can wait to get Saga Volume 7, because I want to know what happened at the end. If the sad thing happened, I'll be really sad. But I hope it didn't, so we'll see. I know it's vague, but yeah, I ended up giving this 4.5 out of 5 stars. Next, we're going to be talking about the books that I'm planning on working on over the weekend. First of all, I hope to finish Stories of Your Life and Others by Ted Chiang. I am actually in the middle of a story right now because I didn't manage to finish it this morning. But I'm on page 196, and it's the middle of one of the longer sort of short stories in this, and I've absolutely been enjoying this collection so far. Definitely on the way to become my favorite short story collection or anthology I've ever read. Yeah, so definitely planning on finishing this over the weekend, maybe even actually already today. I hope at least I'll get through a couple of the stories in here today, and then we'll see when I can get to the others. But the thing is, I can read one story here and then I can switch to another book and go back and read one story when I need a break. So that's why I like anthologies and short story collections. So yeah, definitely an enjoyable read. The other book that I've been reading over the week, I haven't read a lot of it exactly over the week. I'm just picking this up and reading a couple of chapters when I feel like it. It's not like I'm not enjoying it, it's just I'm not in the mood to sit down and read 200 pages in one sitting, or 100 pages in one sitting of this book. But it is Crooked Kingdom by Leigh Bardugo. I am currently on page 181, so I definitely have made some progress in this, but I'm planning on seeing how much I can read of this over the week, and maybe I'll add it to the Because Dragons read-a-thon, because it definitely has some of the elements in this one that could work for one of the challenges, which I'll talk a little bit more about over the TBR video for that. But I'm enjoying it for the most part. But I'm not super excited to pick it up. But if I do pick it up, I feel like I'm enjoying reading it. So yeah, I'm just taking things a little relaxed with this one, so I don't get into another slump. But what I'm really going to be focusing on over the next couple of weeks is my buddy read, which I'm doing with Michael and Michael Shelf, and we're going to be buddy reading Warbreaker by Brandon Sanderson. We're actually going to be starting this tomorrow on the 10th. So definitely a book that I'll be starting over the weekend here. We've planned to try and read about 50 pages a day and then discussing those sections, because that way we'll both have it finished by the end of June, so we could count it for a June reads without being overwhelmed by having to read like 100 pages every day for us. And that will be a great way when I'm going to be participating in the Because Dragons read-a-thon. This will work for that read-a-thon as well, because it is fantasy, and Because Dragon read-a-thon is all about reading all the fantasy books that you want to. But we're both super duper excited to get started on this, and I know Michael has been in kind of a reading slump, so he's hoping to come out of that with this book. We'll see what happens, but at least it's exciting to actually buddy read it and being able to discuss every section of a book with someone, because sometimes I don't know anyone who's actually read these books in my personal sort of known groups. No one know about Brandon Sanderson, so it's nice that I can actually talk to him about the book while I'm reading it. So I'm looking forward to that. I actually also have just started an audio, but it's a short audio because I wanted to finish this one before I get into the Because Dragons readathon, because where I'm going to be using another audio. So I had to pick something short, and because I've been talking to, asking Rachel from Kalanadi about this author, Lois McMaster Buchholz, where I should start with her books. She said I could start with either series, and because the fantasy series is a lot shorter, I decided to go with the Five Gods, World of Five Gods series, I think it's called. And then I was like, do I start, at first I was like, do I just start with A Curse of Chalion or something, what it's called, the first one. And I think that's what she also recommends, a great starting place. But the chronological order starts with book 3, but she said not to start with that one because it wasn't necessary for the overall story. But the chronological order says that the novellas, that's about Penric, were a good place to start as well, because you got a lot of backstory information so that you're ready for the Curse of Chalion and Paladin of Souls, or whatever it's called, the second one. So I decided that I wanted to start with Penric's Demon by Lois McMaster Buchholz. It's only 4 hours, or 4 plus something hours, the audio of that. So I should be able to finish that before the Because Dragons readathon starts. And yeah, I'm listening to this in 1.25 speed, so it's even shorter than 4 hours. That was the audio that I started, and then that's what I'm planning on reading over the week. And yeah, what do I have planned over the weekend? It's raining a lot, so I'm not sure how many exciting things I'll be able to do. I am basically, I just think I need to clean the apartment, and I'm going to my parents' house for dinner today because why not? And I'm hoping I'll be able to get in a run over the weekend in between all of the raining. I actually managed to go out for a run yesterday, which I was excited about. But that's the only time I've been out this week, and last week I didn't get out at all. So I feel a little bad about that. But it has been, seriously, on Tuesday when I got home, when I actually wanted to go for a run, literally while I was sort of putting groceries away that I bought on the way home, lightning started out, and I was like, yeah, that's not a good idea. You know, going out in open spaces and stuff in thunder, that's never a good idea. And the next day, while I was actually getting dressed, ready to go out for a run, it started chucking down with rain, and I was like, yeah, no, I'm not in the mood to go out there and look like a drowned mouse when I come home. So I ended up only getting out for a run yesterday. Even though it was a little rainy, it was just very little, so it didn't annoy me too much. But yeah, so let me know in the comments down below if you've any exciting reads planned for the weekend, and if you've read any of the books that I have read and what you thought of them, just without any spoilers, obviously. So if you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next video very soon. Goodbye!